Thank you so much, sir. There's so much to ask you.
Great to be here.
Listen, I want you to take a listen to what the president said about Nancy Pelosi today, and then we'll talk about it.
It was sad when I watched Nancy all moving, the movement and the hands and the craziness. And I watched it. That's, by the way, a person that's got some problems.
I had to play it again for you. What do you think?
Well, Nancy Pelosi is a legendary legislator and one of the most brilliant legislative leaders in the history of the Republic. She has accomplished a tremendous amount on behalf of tens of millions of Americans in many different areas, including helping to usher in the historic Affordable Care Act back in 2010. Now the president is forced to deal with a strong speaker who has the full support of the House Democratic Caucus, when during the last 2 years, essentially the House Republicans conducted themselves like wholly owned subsidiaries of the Trump administration. He clearly does not know what to do, and he's having a major meltdown in front of the American people.
Nancy Pelosi is not afraid to spar with the president, though. This is some of what she had to say today. Watch this.
I wish that his family or his administration or his staff would have an intervention for the good of the country. I pray for the President of the United States.
Your prayer comments almost suggest you're concerned about his well-being.
I am.
Okay, so here's the thing. She knows exactly how to get under his skin. You know that. You said she's a smart woman by questioning his health. And tonight, the president, some of his supporters, I got to ask you about this, media amplifiers tonight. They seem to be coordinating a message that there's something wrong with her health while doctored videos spread like wildfire online. What's going on here?
They're getting dangerously close to embarking on the same type of sexist campaign that they tried to engineer against Hillary Clinton during the midst of the 2016 presidential race. That will not be effective at all in the context of Speaker Nancy Pelosi. It's quite unfortunate. Why don't they just engage in a debate with us on the issues? We saw that the president walked out of a meeting on infrastructure as opposed to actually having a conversation with us. We were there as Democratic leaders to talk about our plan to deal with the crumbling bridges, roads, tunnels, airports, mass transportation system that exists in the United States of America. We want to invest at least $1 trillion. We think it'll create 16 million good-paying jobs.
You were in the room.
I was not in the room.
You weren't in the room.
It was Jim Clyburn, Steny Hoyer, and Nancy Pelosi.
And what did you talk to Jim Clyburn and who else did you say was in there? Steny
Hoyer, Nancy Pelosi. Yes, we were briefed by all three of them.
So did they say the same thing about the president's demeanor as what the speaker said and what the minority leader in the Senate said, Chuck Schumer?
That is correct. The president appeared agitated and erratic, and the whole thing seemed staged. And 3 weeks ago, the president had indicated to us that he wanted to have a real discussion to try to enter into a bipartisan infrastructure deal. And now he appears to be super sensitive based on the fact that we're calling him on the notion that his administration is clearly engaging in a sustained and systematic cover-up.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, you know, she has said, Nancy Pelosi has said that he needs an intervention. Congress could intervene with impeachment. You know, Justin Amash, who's a Republican who called for the president's impeachment, says that Pelosi's talking out of both sides of her mouth on the issue. Does he have a point with that?
No, we haven't ruled anything in. We haven't ruled anything out. What we're going to do is to follow the facts, apply the law, respect the Constitution, and see where that leads us. At the moment, all of the relevant oversight committee chairs, including Jerry Nadler, Elijah Cummings, Richie Neal, and Adam Schiff, have agreed with the strategy to proceed methodically yet aggressively. Chairman Nadler on the Judiciary Committee has indicated we're going to hold hearings on obstruction of justice. We're going to hold hearings on abuse of power. We are going to hold hearings on the culture of corruption that appears to exist at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
The president has said that he can't investigate and legislate at the same time, but yet he recently announced new legislation with Chuck Schumer to decriminalize marijuana. Why is this such an important issue for you?
Well, we were able to advance the First Step Act in the last Congress, which is going to help currently incarcerated individuals successfully transition back into society, as well as striking down some of the more draconian failed war on drugs sentencing laws that were put into place over the last several decades. We want to be able to build upon that. You've had presidents in the past that were under investigation by Congress and were able to work together. Richard Nixon was able to work together with House Democrats when he was being investigated connected to the Watergate scandal. Bill Clinton was able to work together with House Republicans during the so-called Whitewater investigation. What's wrong with this president? He's supposed to be a stable genius. We want to drive down the high cost of life-saving prescription drugs, but we need a partner to be able to do it.